Mayor Katie, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. We have you back to your regularly scheduled news director now.
Finally.
Yes, thank you for working with Liz the last couple of months while I've been off. Been busy
Yep.
couple of months as well, and things are just, for one reason or another, they're just seems to be only getting worse at this time. We'll start by talking one of your favorites,
Yeah.
which is voting.
Voting!
Yes.
Sorry, I'm very enthusiastic about democracy.
Yes,
and
exactly.
you participating in it, and me, and all of us.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be here in this position if it wasn't for that to begin
exactly.
with. So it's obviously a big part of your life. But I saw the ballot box.
Isn't it pretty?
Out there? Looks very official, very secure.
Everyone's gonna know what that thing is.
Exactly. First off, put everybody's mind at ease. Yes. Everything that gets in there is going to get counted by 8 p.m. on November 3rd, correct?
Oh, yes. That we'll be checking it regularly. So you saw the little silver box out there too where we put bills, or what you put bills. That held maybe 80 ballots. So if you were to show up on a random Saturday, that thing would be stuffed. So this one, thousands of ballots can fit in there. We'll be checking it all the time. There's a camera on it. It's securely fastened to the concrete slab. Like, this thing is secure. You can feel good about dropping your ballot off. You don't have to have any concerns about it going through the mail. So excited about that.
And I think that's the biggest thing for people is the concerns about it going through the mail. We're hearing all kinds of rumors, be them true or otherwise, about how the mail system's going to be working for this. So once you do get those ballots, which are going out this week.
Starting on the 17th.
Yes. You can drop it off here and know that it's bypassed the system and it's where it's going to get counted on Election Day.
Yes, you pop it in there. If you are still nervous, you can pop it into one of our friendly customer service folks in the clerk's office. We'll make sure your ballot gets counted.
And then talk about...
Whoops.
So we'll keep the lights on here at City Hall one way or another. There we go. For a minute there, I was beginning to wonder if you had paid the bills, but...
That is one thing we've done.
Okay, so the bills.
Done a couple other things. Let's talk about some more.
Yeah, let's pay the bills and then talk about the process that you're going through with City Clerk Leslie Kramer as well, because there's a lot of ballots. Mine's already been accepted. Mine's going to be in the mail. A lot of other people's are going to be in the mail. How's this process going to work?
Yeah, so we're starting to send those out on the 17th. So if you've requested them, you should get them. If you didn't get your ballot, or you're concerned that you're not getting it, feel free to pop by and ask about it. We can issue a new one, cancel the old one. But we also have another option that we talked about at City Council last night. I think maybe a few months ago we talked about the Safe Elections Task Force. So we've been meeting. It's been great. And one of the topics that's come up regularly is this drive-through voting. So we talked to Eau Claire, we talked to Madison, and we're super pumped to offer this to folks in Wausau starting this year. And so we're talking about closing down streets. We're talking about making sure that we have tons of election workers that can kind of run ballots and get labels and make sure that everything is official to cars. So it'll be like you're going to Culver's, only instead of cheese curds, you get to participate in democracy. So it's going to be really great. We're still working out the details, but it's looking at like that weekend in October is when we'll have that drive-out voting.
So, and this is going to be in Marathon Park, correct?
So that was initially what we were thinking. But it turns out we talked to the Election Commission, which of course has to kind of make sure that we're doing everything the right way. And in June, we had voted for City Hall to be our central ballot processing. And if we would have wanted to use Marathon Park for that, we would have had to make that decision in June. So the good news is we have City Hall here, and we have all of our election equipment. So it'll be easier for our staff to handle this. Now we just need to hire the election workers to be the ballot runners. So, if you're on the Wausau East, Wausau West, Newman cross-country team and maybe you're looking for a little extra, something to get you through, you should apply for a job here. And you just have to be 16 and a resident of Marathon County, and you can be one of our ballot runners.
And you'll get paid.
You get paid. Yeah,
so.
The job is posted on our website, so feel free to apply.
And then as far as the drive-in voting goes, you will have somebody there to verify the ballots. And sign off that the witness signature. There we go. That's the thing I'm thinking of. So it's going to be just drive up to about 1 or 2 stations?
Yeah, we'll have it depends on how crazy it gets. I think I feel like it's going to be popular, so we'll have a lot of people ready to go. So we'll need an ID. We'll need a proof of residency if that ID isn't, and it'll be the same process that you do if you're in-person absentee ballot voting here at City Hall. Only we'll take your information at your car. You won't have to leave. We'll run in, we'll print the label off for your absentee ballot, everything, we'll say, bring it out to you, you'll vote, we'll sign off on it, and away you'll go.
So the whole process might take 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll do a couple of UX kind of roll throughs on this.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm really excited, but first time for things, and it's the biggest election of I don't know, my lifetime. It's always the biggest election when it's president.
I feel like we've heard that line a time or two before from one candidate or another.
But if we have 90% turnout, like, whoa! So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have officers, ready in case there's some issues. If you're wearing your political garb, you got to stay 100 feet away from it. So all of that.
We'll certainly be looking forward to seeing how that goes. In October, and definitely going to be something that the city hasn't seen before, and new ideas, and that's why you're here, right? As a new mayor to bring the new ideas in.
That's what I'm doing. We'll live tweet it. I've already been told that I will be working the entire weekend because it was my idea, so I'll be there.
All right, we'll look forward to getting details about how that goes when it does happen. But it's not all been obviously fun and exciting stuff here in Wisconsin for the last month or so. We can't talk to you like this without talking about what's happened in Kenosha recently, because that's something that's been on the minds of people in Wausau ever since the George Floyd incident, and you've been working for that as well in creating the policing task force. First thing, let me ask you what's been going through your mind since you've seen the videos of what played out in Kenosha and everything that's followed here in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, seeing that video, we're in a place now where you can't help but see that video. I saw it on Twitter, not even knowing what I was looking at, and then seeing a man get shot in the back 7 times. It's awful, right? You wonder, how do we get to this point that this is how it's functioning? So a lot of questions, a lot of heartache, obviously, in Kenosha, watching how their city has basically been burning too. I mean, it's tough, and so a lot of the work we're doing here in Wausau, I want to think that we're proactively planning and making sure that our officers have the resources they need, the training they need, to act purposefully in the right way during situations where there might be a question. So that's what the task force is about. It's about asking questions. What is the right way to react to this situation? We watched that video. It doesn't feel like that's the right way. So what is it? What do you need in order to make those split-second decisions the right way? We have a lot of great officers here in Wausau, and we have a great chief. So this task force is about making sure that we continue to have the right resources for them and allocate them the right way.
Absolutely, because the next thing, I think you pretty much summed it up. What anybody who has seen that video says is the use of lethal force the right move in this spot, given what we know now. Have you had those discussions with Chief Bliven about when he says, okay, this is when it's okay to draw the weapon, this is when it's okay to fire the weapon?
Yeah, every it's sad to say, every time that a situation like this occurs, I watch the video, he watches the video, and he goes, so what did you see when you watched it? Because I'm a civilian, I don't shoot guns, I don't, this is not my life. My split decisions are like, oh, drop something, right? It's not life or death. And so I tell him how I viewed this video, and he kind of goes through it and says, well, I'm guessing that an officer would see it this way, would see it this way, would see it this way. I can see where this came from. I said, well, how would you react? So, we have those discussions. And, again, it's tough to be on the outside when that's not a situation. Who called 911? Why did they do it? Why was he, you have a lot of questions. And,
right. and
I'm not asking those questions as a civilian that he's asking. So it's good to have those discussions. And I think having them in that broader group with this task force will help people understand, but also help police understand where people are coming from too, that maybe don't have that mentality. You know, we're not trained to interact with the world or people that way. I'm certainly not.
Absolutely. And the task force, just give us an idea. Have you had one meeting yet?
So our meeting will be coming up. Is it next week or the week after? We have our first meeting scheduled. We have a lot to cover. So a lot of the folks that we appointed to this committee have a lot of homework to do. You know, we're talking about the Police and Fire Commission. We're talking about, you know, this is what we already have ahead of us. We have 800 pages of police policies. You know, obviously we're not going to go through everything right away. Use of force, you know, there's a couple of things you can probably see on my wall, the stuff that I was interested in. So we'll be talking a lot about this stuff.
And every swath of the Wausau community is represented on this committee, right? The Hmong community, Black community, Hispanics.
Right, and so where we have spots where maybe we don't have as much representation, we're working on how do we get folks to the table, right? So I'm relying on folks to apply for these positions, and when you're missing those people, you know, I've been reaching out to groups, you know, the young professional groups, the Hmong groups, the things like that. So yeah, we're gonna get there.
Yeah, and that's exactly, I think, what everybody in the community would want to hear right now, because we don't want to see something like this happen in Wausau, where we end up having 50 to 100 businesses that are impacted because of the decision, the split-second decision of one person, be it justified or otherwise.
Right, yeah, and you know, there was a lot of concern over some of, you know, we've had some pretty small demonstrations relative to, I mean, the George Floyd march that we had here, 2,000 people, but we've had a couple hundred folks kind of demonstrating in the last few weeks. And, you know, I've heard concerns from businesses. You know, there are a lot of rumors. Social media will really get to you. You know, rumors of people getting bussed here from outside, you know, a lot of concerns. So, yeah, people want to make sure that we're protecting each other. And that means people, whatever your background is, and also our businesses that kind of make Wausau what it is. So.
Yeah, and it's great to see that, you know, your administration has been proactive in getting ahead of this and making sure that, again, this community stays the great community that we've all invested in so much.
Right. Yeah. It's you know, it's going to be a lot of work here, but I believe we're approaching this in a thoughtful way.
Absolutely. That's what we like to hear. We'll look forward to seeing where this goes as well. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's end on a good note. Dog inspections.
Dog inspections.
Give us an idea of what the city dog inspections have been like in the last few weeks, or even my cat. My cat has been inspected.
Your cat has been inspected.
Yes.
100%. Good cat. Good work.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you can take all the credit for that. So, you know, there's a lot of rumor mongering and fear and just difficult stuff we're going through as a community. But dogs are not one of them. They're always good dogs.
Absolutely.
Always good dogs. So, you know, if you tweet something out about wanting to inspect someone's puppy, eventually they're going to show up and you're going to have to inspect them. So that's what I've been doing on Twitter. We've been hearing from a lot of folks across the city, and also across the Midwest. We've inspected a couple of I think Indiana dogs. A couple of my favorite are some from Alaska. Some of those mushing dogs.
Oh yeah, dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, super excited about that. So yeah, you know, just making sure that everyone knows that keeping up our end of the bargain, making sure they know they're good dogs.
Yes, exactly. And I think what's been great about this is the first time I saw it was a couple of weeks ago, and of course immediately I had to get my cat Napoli in on the axe, but it was just fun.
Yes.
You mentioned it. Social media can get to you. It can get you down.
Oh, yeah.
You see a lot of negative stuff out there. Is this just your way of putting some more good vibes out there?
Yeah, we need a little levity sometimes. You know, it's tough, and I'm trying to put positive things out into the universe. And when you do that, sometimes you get pictures of dogs back. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't think
or
there's
cats.
I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't take something like that.
I mean, I
these
posted
days.
about goats, and we have all these goats here, so it's kind of a crazy.
And a joke, rubber chicken.
Yep,
I believe we'll get the rubber chicken.
I didn't even
here.
know you could send rubber chickens out, so you can.
Apparently, it's a thing. As the
Please
kids,
don't send anymore.
as the kids would say these days.
I'm not allowed to keep it, so whoever's mayor next is going to end up with this whole strange barnyard of animals here.
Hey, hey, if you need a break while you're working, it's right here.
Yeah, right.
Well, we appreciate the time, as always. Appreciate you taking time to do these longer chats. Again, take care of Liz next month.
Oh, yeah.
You will not be working with me next month. I will be laid up. I've got some health issues that need to be taken care of. So we appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again further down the road when I'm back on the mend.
Please heal up quickly. We need you.
It's the goal.
Love
That
you
is
too,
the
Liz.
goal. Yes, absolutely.
Cool.